Kyrie Irving is one of the biggest and most influential players in the NBA without a doubt. Any devout follower of the NBA can testify to the fact that the present Brooklyn Nets point guard is a massive reason Cleveland ended its championship drought when the Cleveland Cavaliers won the NBA Finals in 2016. Kyrie is talented but odd and unusual, hard-working but erratic. He has the personality of a movie character who keeps the audience in doubt about whether to like him or not. For us, Irving is like the Loki of the NBA, except he's not from Asgard, and he doesn't have a brother who controls lightning and thunder with a hammer in his hand. But this doesn't mean that Irving doesn't light up the place with his own brand of mischief. The star point guard entered the league back in 2011 as the #1 pick. The same year US forces killed Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, and the same year Kim made headlines ending her 72 wedding to NBA star Chris Humphries. Back then, Irving mostly kept to himself and was not known for speaking too much. But all that changed in the past few years when Irving gave some weird statements during interviews that literally got everyone like, what the hell? From insisting that the earth is flat to saying Christmas is not a holiday. Kyrie had definitely left us with moments where all we could do is either open our mouths in disbelief or shake our heads in confusion. Kyrie's streak of saying weird stuff begins with steak. Yes, the meat. Regular people know that steak is a high-quality beef and mainly comes from cows. However, Kyrie is everything else but regular. In 2017, Kyrie was having an interview with BR's Tom Haberstroh when he revealed that he had stopped eating steak. When he was asked why, he said, "Steak doesn't come from anything natural." So I guess cows come from space? Is that right, Kyrie? It's difficult to understand whether Kyrie Irving really has complete freedom of thought or the man just falls prey to conspiracy theories. To be honest, that's something even we don't understand. You can argue that he had sound arguments to some of the things he believed, like with the John F. Kennedy, Bob Marley, and MLK assassinations, or the presence of extraterrestrial beings. However, saying that the Earth is flat and that NASA is lying was one step too far, even for a man like Kyrie. To be honest, if there's someone in the 21st century that believes that the Earth is flat and the laws of physics are untrue, then it's nothing other than sheer ignorance. Most people who believe in this give Galileo Galilei as an argument to defend this belief. But really, it doesn't take a genius to understand why it is impossible for the Earth to be flat. Well, that's not the case for Kyrie. In 2017, he said, "The Earth is flat, I'm telling you. It's right in front of our faces. They lie to us." That's not the only thing.
I don't know what I'd do.
Kyrie also seems skeptical about the Earth rotating around the sun. He said, "For what I've known for as many years, and what I've come to believe, what I've been taught is that the Earth is round." Irving said, according to Boston.com. But I mean, if you really think about it from a landscape as the way we travel, the way we move, and the fact that can you really think of us rotating around the sun and all planets aligned? Rotating in specific dates? Being perpendicular with what's going on with these planets and stuff like this?
Too much for me, and then I come out and say that, and then, whoo.
You can look at this. This is a gift for you.
However, just before Halloween in 2018, Irving was at Forbes in Boston and went on to apologize for saying the Earth was flat and spreading the theory, saying that he only made an innocent observation or belief of his and that at the time, he didn't realize that his words could have that much effect. He also apologized to science teachers saying, "I'm sorry about all of that. For all the science teachers, for everybody coming up to me like, I have to reteach my whole curriculum. I'm sorry, I apologize." In the same podcast where Irving discussed about the Earth being flat in 2017, Irving also admitted that he believed that the CIA tried to use Jamaicans to kill legendary reggae artist Bob Marley. The popular revolutionary singer died in May 1981 due to cancer. And when Irving was asked why the CIA would want to kill Bob Marley, he simply responded, "Marley tried to bring people together, and the fact that it was fundamentally built on love and truth, and we kill people for doing the right thing like that." Maybe Irving should do a weekly podcast where he dives into conspiracy theories each week. Some of us would love to take a listen. Irving's first postseason run with the Boston Celtics isn't one of the things that Beantown sports fans will fondly remember, apart from the fact that they lost in the second round. The way that they did left a bitter aftertaste with the fans. In Game 4, Kyrie left the floor even before the final buzzer. The Boston Celtics couldn't get their shooting on track in Game 4, and no player was more guilty of this than Kyrie Irving himself. Kyrie missed 15 of his 22 attempts. and his shooting performance helped drag the Boston Celtics underwater in a 113-101 loss. Kyrie, who is known to have an extreme confidence in his own ability to lift the team during the season, was asked post-game about his continued poor shooting in Boston's 3 consecutive losses. Kyrie replied saying, "For me, the 22 shots, I should have shot 30. I'm that great of a shooter." That was coming from a man who only made 7 shots out of his attempted 22 and had been missing shots in 3 consecutive games. These were shots that Kyrie would have scored eyes closed the previous season. So eyebrows were raised when Kyrie suggested that he should have shot more. For many people, it was just typical Kyrie making ridiculous statements. 2020 is perhaps one of the most significant periods in the history of man. The coronavirus took the world by surprise, and the government responded by locking down their countries, and the NBA court was not left out as games were stopped across the country. Social injustice followed, which directly affected the NBA players. Despite all that happened, basketball still returned to action. The move to reopen the courts didn't sit well with everyone, with Kyrie being one of the NBA players who spoke against the move. The return didn't, of course, happen without the permission of the NBA players. The vice president of the NBA led a conference call with 80 or more NBA and WNBA players, and during the call, players were given the chance to talk about their concerns regarding the plan to reopen courts considering the social unrest and health risks at the time. Irving was not in support of returning to the courts. However, he was willing to do what the majority decided. At the time, Irving believed that the resumption of the 2019-2020 season will only provide a distraction from the fight against racial injustices and that the health risk was being underestimated. While Kyrie had many valid points, and the league was eventually paused due to social injustice, there were many people who were not feeling Kyrie's stance. Kendrick Perkins had this to say regarding Irving's stance. "I'm so damn confused when it comes down to Kyrie Irving. Just 9 days ago he was saying this, now all of a sudden it's something different? Now he started unnecessary drama between the NBA brothers, which is something we don't need right now." The league did end up pausing for a day due to the very thing Irving called out a month prior. This is probably the only thing on this list that Kyrie was actually right about. Sometime before the end of last year, Kyrie Irving raised a few eyebrows when he issued a statement saying his play would speak for itself, and then went on to boycott the media. Although the Brooklyn Nets superstar thought this strategy was in his best interest, it turned out otherwise because the move was in direct violation of the league's media obligations. As a result of his refusal to attend his press duties, Irving and the Brooklyn organization were hit with fines of $25,000 for each violation. It didn't end there because just after he was given the fine, Irving then took to Instagram to tell the world that, "I do not talk to pawns." It was a shot fired at both the league office who administered the fine, who Irving felt had treated him unfairly, and at the reporters and how speaking with them could grow tiresome. Not only does Irving not speak to pawns, but the man has also shown that he doesn't stay in place where he isn't happy. This is something that both Cleveland and Boston fans can testify to, something that has made Kyrie one of the most hated NBA players. When Kyrie was at Cleveland, his desire to leave was so great that he reportedly threatened to have a minor knee injury midway through the 17-18 season, which would see him out for most of the season. While all this was going on indoor at the camp, when Kyrie was asked if he would leave the Cleveland Cavaliers the same way LeBron left by a campgoer, he simply smiled and replied, "That's a great question. No, I won't leave. I'm not leaving. How can I leave you guys?" Despite lying to the fans that he would stay, Kyrie demanded a trade at the end of the season and was traded to the Celtics. Kyrie would later reveal that he requested the trade because he didn't want to play with LeBron James. Another ridiculous statement because that was at a time when the King was in his prime. During an interview with ESPN, Kyrie also expressed his beliefs about dinosaurs, and if they truly existed at all. Apparently, the point guard doesn't believe dinosaurs existed and that it was all made up by scientists. Kyrie explained by saying, "They find one bone and they make up 98% of it digitally of what they should look like." This is one conspiracy theory that many people would agree on with Kyrie, and that is because many people believe that our perception of dinosaurs is based on unconfirmed research. But if we're gonna side with anyone on this one, we're gonna be on the side of the scientists. Sorry, Kyrie. Back in November 2018, not too long after Kyrie claimed that the Earth was flat, he made another that got everyone thinking, for real, Kyrie? After a 117-109 loss against the Knicks, where he scored 22 points, Irving was talking to reporters when he surprised everyone by saying, "F Thanksgiving." He later said that he did not intend to disrespect the holiday and went on to express how he felt about the holiday, saying, I don't necessarily think of Christmas as a holiday, looking forward to playing in front of the fans on the 25th and playing against a high-level Washington team and going against great guys. While Kyrie was still playing for the Celtics during the 2017-18 season, they lost to the Orlando Magic in a 105-103 game. After the match, Irving had a message for his young supporting cast while speaking to Keith Smith. The young guys don't know what it takes to be a championship-level team, what it takes every day. And if they think it's hard now, what do they think it'll be like when they're trying to get to the finals? This was the same supporting cast that found success without Kyrie during the 2018 playoffs, coming just a game short of a finals appearance. Irving believed that the pressure that came with the young stars such as Terry Rozier, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart's surprise success during the previous year was affecting their play. I mean, we had nothing to lose that year, Irving said via the Boston Herald. We had nothing to lose, and everybody could play free and do whatever they wanted and nobody had any expectations. We were supposed to be at a certain point. We surpassed that. Young guys were supposed to be at a certain point. They surpassed that. We come into this season, expectations, and it's real. Everyone from the coaching staff to the players, it's very much real every single day. So that's new. It's tough. It's hard, you know? So I think that what we're facing now is nothing compared to being on that stage trying to get a gold trophy. The Boston team went on to underachieve that season, and the narrative of Kyrie Irving being a terrible leader became more prominent amongst fans and journalists. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notifications button to never miss another one of our videos. We'll see you next time, latest Hoops fans. Until then,